Hey everyone, Gooman with 30 here. Today I'm doing a review of the Dox Wireless N64 controller. I picked this up at the thrift store the other day, and apparently they're sort of hard to find. They're a little bit more expensive just because they're not Nintendo brand. They're unofficial, but it's actually wireless. It uses infrared. Here and here's the receiver. This actually has a port for player 1 and 2 coming out of the back, and it doesn't have a slot for memory cards or anything up here because the batteries go right there. It uses 4 AAAs, and the memory card actually goes here, but I'll discuss that later. Anyways, they only had one of these wireless controllers here, but I'm pretty sure it was sold with 2. And I know you can run 2 on it, but since I'm only using 1, you only need to plug it into 1. You don't need to plug both in if you're only using 1 controller. Okay, so this is all you need to do. Hook up the receiver to this. One thing that I did notice is that on the side here there is a small port here. I have no idea what that's for. If you have one of these or if you know anything about it, just let me know in the comments. So let's turn this on. Here we have it up here. And so it has 3 settings here. I don't know if you can see this. There we go. Player 1, player 2, and then off is in the middle, but we're just going to set it to player 1, and that way this light here lights up whenever you press a button. So that way you can know that it's receiving the signal. Both lights light up. And we're just going to test this out. The joystick is pretty much the same as the standard N64 controller. And the buttons are a little bit different. Here's the joystick. It's very much the same design, especially on the inside there. It's just darker plastic, really. The D-pad is a little bit different. It performs more like an analog stick, in my opinion, although it's pretty much the same. The A and B buttons are shaped more like a pill, and the C buttons have lines going in between them, and they're orange. But anyways, it has set button, clear button, and slow button, and I imagine this is similar to other third-party controllers. You can see that we have slow and auto buttons right here, and I'm pretty sure that these are just you program buttons, and it's like rapid fire or slow fire, so it's sort of like a mod. But I'm not sure how to set those up. I imagine you hold down set and press whatever. I just haven't looked into it yet. It has to be pointing pretty straightforward to this. One of the things is that it definitely will not work if people are walking in front of it. If there's any angle to it, it's just not going to receive. It's a pretty low reception. The farthest you can get it to work is from about 13 feet. I measured it. It's to the edge of this room. Just 13 feet. There you go. You can hear it working. But it's about as far. From this distance, it'll start cutting out, lagging. It's just not good. So really the maximum you're going to want to use is about 6 feet, which is, I'm pretty sure, the length of one of these controllers. So in reality it's not that much of a difference, except the fact that it's less hassle for setting up, I guess. Anyways, it does perform basically the same because it's a standard N64 controller design, which I really like. Alright, I don't know if you can even see that. You probably can't. And I'm not going to be able to fight Yoshi. That's pretty pathetic. But anyways, so that's that. And finally, right here in the front, we have where the memory slot goes. And so we're just going to test this out. You just stick it in here. This is my Lego Racers memory pack, so we're just going to test that so I can show you that it works. It has 2 settings on the front, M for memory and R for rumble. I open this up, there's actually a rumble, a vibrator thing right in the bottom here of the middle one, which is pretty unusual. This one also has one built in. I think a lot of third-party ones did, just because that was something they could do later that wasn't available in this original model. I don't know if this is just mine, but the rumble doesn't work, so I just use it for memory. And I'm going to hold down start, and see if we can bring up the menu. There we go. So yeah, it's bringing up the memory thing, so it does work. It does load the memory pack. So overall, this is a great controller. It's very similar to the original one, just a little bit bigger. It's not too much heavier, even though it does have 4 batteries in the front and then a rumbler in it. But the rumbler is actually probably the heaviest part, and since you're holding that in the middle of your hand, it doesn't make much of a difference. Although this does feel a little bit lighter when you're just holding them. So it's a good controller. I prefer the official Nintendo controllers just because they feel a lot more sturdy. The buttons are more responsive because it's a cord. There's never going to be any lag. You can't play this at an angle, really. It has to have a head-on view of the receptor. Although you can play it pretty comfortably at about 10 feet. It's not going to be cutting out too much. So anyways, thanks for watching my review.